Hey everybody, it's old Watachi again. I wasn't going to do a video today, but I kind of got into a conversation with somebody, and it's about made my head explode. And I just want to talk about it for a minute, I guess. First off, though, I want to say I don't have all this fancy equipment. What you see is what you get. I got a phone that I can put on this phone mount that mounts to my windshield in my car that will hold my phone while I talk. I don't have no tripods. I don't have no laptops. I don't have no desktops. I don't have a studio in my house that I can do these videos where I'm not sitting in this car. So any of you that's got a problem with me sitting in my car to do my talking, I don't know what to tell you. I'll set up a PayPal account and you guys can donate money to it so I can go put a studio in my house so that I can have some fancy intro on all my videos, and I can show you definitions and where things that I talk about. I can put that right on the screen for you, seeing how some of these people are too lazy to even do some of the things that I know their own 10-year-old children can do, like a little bit of research, like a definition to something. But I don't have this equipment, and I don't know what to tell you. If me sitting in my car is too much for you to handle, don't come to my channel. Just move on past it. When you see me, just move on past it. If you don't believe what I'm saying, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But at least back it up with some proof. I mean, I've asked for several things, proof of gravity, proof of pressure without a container, proof of earth rotation, proof of space, proof of the distance to the sun. There's many things I've asked for proof of, and nobody has given me one speck of facts. Oh, they've given me a lot of pseudo-scientific facts, and there's lots of that. And I think some of you need to look up that word because you think it's a put down, like I'm calling somebody an asshole. But I'm not. It's an actual word. And just because you take it as a put down, I don't know what to tell you, but it does mean exactly what it means. It means information that's been put out that people believe without it having any fact behind it. It's just all theory and bullshit, basically. But to get to my point of why I'm even doing this video, the conversation I was having, and this is going to be one that I stick to, because I know it aggravates the hell out of people because they can't prove it, but they still want to say there's this big vacuum of endless space above our heads. Which, I mean, you've had, I don't know how many years they've been saying that. Since 1400s, does it even go back further than that? I mean, I hear people talking about, 20,000 years ago, 1,000,000 years ago, they found carvings and stuff that talked about people from other planets and all this stuff. So how far does it go back saying that we have this empty, endless vacuum of space above us? I don't know. I know it goes back to at least around the 1400s. But you've had that much time and at least billions and billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars, to put together the scientific proof, which means you use the scientific methods to prove what you're saying to be true. I mean, as long as you've had the amount of money that you had, there ought to be scientific evidence everywhere you look for these things. But there ain't. The point that I'm getting to is the fact that everybody agrees that we have gas pressure as our atmosphere. It's a gas pressure. There's oxygen, there's hydrogen, there's carbon dioxide in it. There's all these, I don't know what all's in it, and especially after all the shit they're spraying on us today, hard telling what's all in it today. But everybody agrees there's a gas pressure. They have high and low pressure systems. All that's been proven. So we can all agree that there's a gas pressure that's called our atmosphere. But what just happened? Anyway, I don't know why that thing does it, but anyway, to get back to this gas pressure. All I ask is if you're going to tell me I'm crazy that there's a gradient to this pressure and it starts out high and then it's less and less the higher you go, to the point that it goes completely into nothing and then into a vacuum of space. And gravity holds our atmosphere to the earth. I'm not even going to go off about the gravity. That can't be proven. It hasn't been proven, and it's all bullshit. But let's stick with the pressure. All I want you to do is, if you're going to tell me I'm stupid, go ahead and look up the word pressure. Now, again, I don't have all this fancy equipment and shit where I can put the definition to pressure on the screen for you. So you will have to take, a whole 30 seconds and type it into Google or whatever search engine you want to use, the word pressure, and it'll give you the definition, which states that it's where you have, let's say, gas pushing in all directions onto an area, basically, is what it's saying. Perpendicular, it uses 90-degree angles, but it's something pushing against something. Well, in order to have gas pressure, you have to have a container, period, plain and simple. If that container is not in place, then you don't have a pressure. Just like in your tire, you would not have air pressure in your tires if the air you pumped into it didn't have the tires to press against to cause the air pressure that fills the tire up and you drive down the road on them. Wouldn't happen without pressure. All these fuel systems on these cars today, the gas pump is in the gas tank. Why? Because it's a pressurized system. I think it's 15 psi is what's on most of these cars. And it pushes the fuel through the system, through the injectors, into the freaking combustion chamber. And that causes your motor to run for you to drive down the road. Pressure. Now, everybody keeps saying, at the ground level, the pressure is more, but then as the higher in the air you go, the less the pressure until it gets to zero. Well, that ain't true, because without a container, look it up, you can't have pressure. So no matter how low the pressure goes, as the higher you go, in order for there to even be the smallest amount of pressure, it has to be hitting something. Now, if that's the firmament, whatever it might be, there has to be something that is pushing against to cause pressure, no matter how small the amount is. Now, if you want to know the reason why it probably goes lower, and I'm not even for sure why the higher in there it goes lower, but this is the only common sense thing that I can come up with. Seeing how we produce carbon dioxide when we breathe out, the plants and the trees produce oxygen. When they take in the carbon dioxide, they turn it into oxygen, and the plants put off the oxygen. So I would pretty much say most of the gas that is our atmosphere is starts at ground level. It's produced at ground level. Okay? The higher in the air it goes, because I don't know how many cubic feet our sky adds up to, but the higher in the air it goes, the less pressure there is, because the area is so big that the earth and the trees and everything doesn't produce enough gas to keep it at a level all across the board, from the ground level to 100,000 feet or however high you want to go. The trees and stuff do not produce enough gas to fill it all and hold it at a certain level. That's why it's a gradient. The farther you get away from where it's being produced, the less is there, because the area is so big. Now, if I take a 100,000 gallon natural gas tank, and it's 60 foot tall, let's say, holds 100,000 gallons, it's empty. I start pumping in, and I've got a meter sitting there reading it, where I'm pumping it in at the bottom. Where that tank is being filled at the bottom, it's going to have the highest pressure reading. Now, you can have a dam reading or a gauge at the top of the tank, 60 feet above you, and where I'm filling it, putting the gas in, yes, some of it's going to go up there, but it's going to be a lower reading, because I haven't at this point put so much in it that it would have an exact reading from top to bottom. Where you're putting the pressure in, where the gas is being produced, will always have a higher reading. The farther away from it you get, the lower the reading's going to be, but there's still going to be a gas pressure there, whether it's 0.001 or 1,000. It's still going to be there, because it's contained inside the tank. Now, if I took that same nozzle and I just sprayed it out into the sky, you're not going to get no reading off of it near where it's coming out. You might get a slight bit if you pointed it right at the meter, but there ain't going to be no pressure, because it has nothing to push against. Nothing. This is why the earth has a high pressure reading at the ground level, and the higher in the air you go, it has a gradient, a lesser reading. It's because all that gas is spreading out, trying to fill the space. The space is too large for the amount of gas pressure being pumped in, so you're going to have a lower reading the higher in the air you go. But you cannot even have the smallest minute pressure without it being in a container or some kind of barrier. Period. Now, if our atmosphere just dwindled off into nothing, and then the vacuum of space started, this is where the second law of thermodynamics steps in. Gas will always go from high pressure to low. It will force itself to go that way to fill the area. It will not go towards the ground because gravity's pulling it. That is crap. That's where this second law of thermodynamics steps in. High energy will always go towards lower energy. Cold will always go towards hot. I think it's cold will go towards hot. It might be the other way around. But I know with gas, it's high energy or high pressure will go towards low pressure. So let's just stick with that. If there was no barrier between our atmosphere and the vacuum of space, the endless endless vacuum of space, then our entire atmosphere would rush. It would run, not walk. It would rush into the vacuum of space. And it would do this in order to try to fill the area. If it's an endless space, then our entire atmosphere would suck. It wouldn't suck. It would press its way right into the vacuum of space, and we would not have a atmosphere to breathe. Period. There would be no atmosphere. There is no changing this, people. I don't care how much you want to use gravity, which can't be proven. How much you want to say, oh, it's a gradient. There is no container. If there is no container, then there is no pressure. No pressure, no container. If there's a pressure, there has to be a container. No buts, ifs, or ands about it. Period. Now, I've tried to explain this and make it as simple as possible for the meatheads who want to keep telling me I'm crazy, who want to keep calling me names, telling me I'm stupid, I don't know nothing about space. Well, I don't give a shit what you think I know. I know what I just told you to be a fact. So, unless you can show me, and if you can do this, you'll be a very rich person. If you can show me where you can have gas pressure without a container, you can violate the second law of thermodynamics. You will be a rich, rich person and a very famous person. Guarantee it. So please, all I'm asking, don't call me stupid. Don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, because you can look these definitions up. Just do what you say you're going to do. Show me where the scientific method was used. You've seen it in nature that there's gas pressure without a container. You wrote a hypothesis on it, or hypothesis. You actually did the testing, the experiment, and you was able to manipulate the dependent and the independent variables to come up with your cause and effect. Then, after you've done it enough times to prove it, then you write your hypothesis and send it out to your peers and let them check your word. Once they do all that and they all agree that you're right, you're going to be a rich, rich person. So, like I said, instead of telling me I'm wrong, don't tell me. Show me. It's that easy. I don't even know what to think, people. I mean, you guys believe this crap it's so deep-seated in your heads that you can't even see the light of the lies that you've been lied to about. And that is sad, because that's why this world's in the shape it's in. You keep letting them lie to you. Well, that's my rant for the day, people. May God bless us all, because we're going to need it. Have a good day out there. It's Sunday. Don't work too hard. Bye.